A bus driver and a paraeducator returned from their route. They parked the bus at our transportation center, had basically concluded their route, and shortly after that a parent called and said, "My child has not arrived home." Typically, any time that occurs, our first step is to immediately go check the bus. Even though we, like all districts, have a process to check a bus, there are times when a student may fall asleep, or in the buses where they're not buckled in may actually sit on the floor. They'll fall asleep and they'll slide down. I've seen that happen. So they checked the bus, and she found the student still sitting, buckled in his seat. The report we had is he was reading a book, and immediately let the parent know that the student would be dropped off shortly.
Okay. So what is the protocol, I guess, for bus drivers with the preschoolers?
Ideally, what happens is that at the end of the route, the driver who's responsible will walk to the end of the bus, check and make sure there aren't any students that are remaining on the bus. They'll also pick up items that may have been left, and then they'll come to the front. We actually have a card that they move from the back to the front of the bus as a signal to themselves they've completed that. For some reason, that process appears to not have been done. That's the purpose of our investigation, is to find out why.
Okay. What are the possible consequences if protocols weren't followed?
They will range, as in any employee situation. It can be a warning all the way up to a discharge. So anytime there's an employee that does not follow our procedures or policy, that's always the range of employee consequences, regardless of the employee assignment.
How do you respond, I guess, to some of the concerns of the parents in all of this?
Our apologies. We would never want this to happen to any student, and I don't believe our driver had any intention of doing this. I think the word inadvertently has been used. My belief is school employees come to work wanting to do the very best. We're also human, though, and this was a mistake. Our deepest apologies. This was not a safe situation for the student, and safety is our highest priority at all times. We're looking at some additional technology that's come along in the last couple of years to help this situation. There was a similar incident in Olympia this fall, and we looked at the technology that they're installing, which is a system where once a driver turns off a key, they have 1 minute to go to the back of the bus and push a button, otherwise an alarm. I think it's the horn starts honking in 1 minute, just as a double check to make sure that they, for some reason, don't forget to do their sweep of the bus at the end of their route, and check that.